Yeah, so I am Dogtooth. My name is Peyton. I work on Dead Matter. I'm a character artist. I'm responsible for creating the characters and everything about them, hair, eyes, but we have a different eye material at the moment. Uh, Flapping of the mouth, etc., etc. I'm also responsible for creatures and what is the other one? Clothes. At the moment, I'm mostly working on character creation, trying to ensure that we get the best visuals we can. So outside of that, I primarily do fitment of what clothes we do have already to our custom character.
Nice. Cool. So you got a little bit of background. What's going on inside the QI software and what's going on in the team? There's been a lot of issues going on. A lot of people are upset. We understand that, and I'm sure you guys more than anyone understand how upset people are getting just for the fact of probably getting death threats and everything like that, which is just I find just stupid. I don't know why people are doing that. We got a lot of questions to go through. Some of these might be a little vague, but I'll try to ask them in the like most specific way I can. Uh,
Sure. I'll I will answer every question you give me as best I can. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you I don't know the answer. If it's something I can't disclose because of a non-disclosure agreement, I will just say I don't know. So there we go.
awesome. Now the biggest one that I see a lot of, and something that actually kind of like gets me going as well, and I mean I'll admit I was a little upset for the first like 24 hours about the communication and the transparency of what's been happening, and I understand that there are probably some reasons why some of the transparency hasn't been forthcoming.
Mhm.
But what's going on? Why hasn't there been more communication? Why hasn't there been more like transparency with the community about what has been happening? Not only like with the website, but with the keys and everything like that.
Yeah, so that's a question that is really confusing to me, honestly. Um, as you probably are aware, I was in the Discord typing from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. straight. I'm in there every day, and maybe that's just because it's from my perspective. But I'm in there every day answering questions. After this launch kind of went downhill, I was in there literally all day. I stood up 3 times. The rest of the time, I was typing for literally 13 hours. Um, I've answered every single question that people have asked me, and I then went on to do 2 Q&A streams. I just saw some people streaming in the Dead Matter category, and they were talking some shit. So I was like, "Hey, you wanna talk one on one? Let's go." And so I just did some impromptu Q&As with them, and I've answered every question. So I don't really understand where the idea of um, a lack of transparency comes from, because as I've spoken about with a lot of our backers, these people know when I wake up, they know when I eat my food, they know what I'm having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The only way we could be more transparent is if I had a 24-hour live stream.
That's pretty fair. I guess I could be a little bit more specific with that. When I mean like communication, I'm not meaning like on Discord, but like a lot of social media outlets like Twitter and Facebook and the ones that are kind of your main, like the ones that people go to when things like this happen. There
Mhm.
really hasn't been any like forward coming announcements when it comes down to it. Like the announcements page on the Discord has been very like very it almost seems like hush hush. And I guess when we mean like, hey, why hasn't there been more communication? We don't mean more like one-on-one communication with like devs and moderators answering questions, but like more, I guess, formal announcements.
Okay. So there's, I don't want to say a good reason for that because it's really not a very good reason, but there is a reason for that. Um, so our Twitter is handled primarily by Nick, uh, and Nick is probably the busiest person I've ever met. The man works for like 30 hours and then sleeps for 6 and then does it again. So you'll notice that, there's very rarely a whole lot of info actually coming out of our Twitter. And that's because it's primarily ran by Nick and he's literally busy all the time. In terms of Facebook, that one's primarily ran by Reggie, and Reggie has an actual job um, outside of the studio. So you'll notice with like the weekly updates that we were doing before launch, they always came out really late, and that's because Reggie would get home, at 6 or 7, have dinner, and by that time it's 9 or 10, and then he writes the thing.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's not a very great explanation for why there's not a whole lot of info coming through those avenues, but that's pretty much it. We just don't really use them.
Gotcha. So Discord is like the main way you guys get information out then.
Yeah, definitely. It's we're kind of weird in the sense of, you know, PR shit like that everybody wants. PR is there to placate angry people. Like that's the point of the job.
Yeah. Um,
And we're more interested in having a relationship with our community because this is a game that we make because we want to play it.
definitely.
And so we're a lot more enthused at the idea of having a small team, small dev community, small moderation staff, so that way we can interact directly with our fan base.
Um, yeah, fair enough. Do you feel like not having more announcements in like on the announcements page, do you feel like that has caused some backlash? Because there hasn't been more like communication of like, hey, we're working on this, we don't have ATA, like a constant like announcements every like 2 hours or something like that. I understand like some people, I've heard some people say, oh well, it just takes too much time, but just a simple one line sentence of, hey, we're still working on this, give us time type of deal. Do you think that that is going to cause more backlash not to have the announcements?
I actually think that having, super quick regimented hourly updates is a little bit negative in terms of progress because things can change so quickly. So if we're giving people real-time updates all the time, then eventually we're going to contradict ourselves because something's not going to be the same an hour later. And so at that point, it seems to me like the most logical thing we could do is, wait until we have something to say. Like there's the update. Hey, we'll tell you when we know. That's really all the info we have right now.
Uh,
And then, we're not going to update in another 2 hours, 5 hours. Like, hey, we still know nothing. Sorry.
that's fair.
Like that just
um
seems like a dick move to me.
I can understand how some of like the people in chat and some of the people on the Discord are upset because they're saying like, hey, there hasn't been any, 9:36 p.m. was the last time it was there was an update posted by Yan, and
Mhm.
I hope I say his name right. But a lot of people are like, hey, even like something like saying, hey, we're still working on it. A lot of people feel like they've just kind of they're hiding something, or they're trying to get away with something that they screwed up on, or something's going on. Like they feel like they're being shady, I guess you could say. What would you have to say about like those type of comments, like about people thinking that you guys are trying to be shady?
I mean, I guess I understand why people would jump to that conclusion since they're not getting sort of a direct response. All that's really happening right now is I'm going around doing these Q&As with people so that there is the actual information because we do have a lot of rather interesting theories running around right now. And
I've
then the
heard
rest of
quite
the
a few
team
of
is
them.
just working.
um, cool, so I
Like
think, oh sorry, go ahead.
like pretty much everybody else's job. Nick, Disseminate, MetaMoth, Nomad, Shiny, Gun. They all have jobs that are necessary uh, because we do like essentially nightly builds. So they all have to work all day, every day. So that way we have a nightly build to make. Whereas my work is it's pretty much submitted like once a week, once every 2 weeks, sometimes once a month. So it's really not critical for the continued development on the daily basis. So everybody else is just working.
So I'm seeing a lot of like simple things in chat, like excuse me, what the hell is going on? A couple things in chat that I noticed was like somebody was saying like, we are continuing to investigate the issue with key distribution and working on resolution. We apologize for any inconveniences caused, and we'll update you again soon. They're done. How hard was that? Like, I want to like kind of get on that subject real quick, because
Mhm.
you got to remember, the guys that are dealing with the problems that are going on right now. I understand what Dogtooth is saying by saying there's no reason to say the same thing over and over and over, and I do know that that has already been said in the Discord. Um, Not with those exact words, but at that point, it's just semantics of saying the same thing over and over and over. So I think I understand why they haven't been posting updates. Am I about right with what you were saying?
Yeah, it's like when all we have to say is there's no news yet. It's the equivalent of, saying, "Hi, my name's Peyton," every hour on the hour. Like nobody cares. You might be interested in the update itself, but when it's the exact same thing over and over and over again, it loses all validity. There's
Yeah,
no point.
I get that. Chat, don't worry. We got a lot of questions going on. That's just like the first couple of questions. Like, we still have a lot of questions. So if you haven't heard your question yet, like, don't worry. It just started. Okay, second question here. We'll get on to it. What are the issues you guys are having, and do you guys have any like legitimate ETA on when like things will be fixed, like the website or anything like that? We'll get into like a little bit more like specific topics, but like the
Mhm.
issues that are going on right now with the website. What issues are you guys having, and do you guys have an ETA on when it might be fixed?
Yeah, so we actually have some new information. Obviously, if anybody here was watching last night, or rather this morning, since I was doing those interviews at 4 a.m. Uh, what I was saying yesterday is that the site was initially taken down by a DDoS attack occurring at around 5:45 p.m. PST. That was what should I call it? 8 million concurrent requests for the site, which was about 800 times higher than anticipated. So we set up for all of our backers, all of the people we anticipated to be backing that day, and a little extra because we knew people would be excited and F5ing, and that's fine. Um, but we did get slammed, and I will ask the higher ups about getting that actual information from site statistics so we can stop with the search history. So that's unfortunately a little inaccurate. Um, but so the thing with that was that happened, and then nobody was able to get their keys. And I was telling people that um, we have keys and the site is broken, and that when it's fixed, you'll be able to access your keys. And we are waiting on Valve to make up the extra keys that we requested last week to cover the gap between the backers we knew we had and the backers we anticipated to get before the end of or before launch. So I've learned today, this morning, I spoke to MetaMoth and some other people that we had a limited amount of keys and that the request we put into Valve last week was actually for the majority, and that Valve still has not gotten back to us. So that's where we're at right now. The site is currently fixed, and it is the login is essentially down. So that way we don't have people consistently attempting to get the keys that they don't have.
Okay. So the site is like you said, the site's fixed. It's just the login is down, so it's not being consistently spammed for a key. Like somebody refreshes, logs in spam, refresh, login, spam.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
So if I can follow up on that, because I know everybody's, where are the keys? What's the ATA for the keys, etc.
Yeah.
So the biggest issue is essentially due to COVID-19 slowing down pretty much all distributions because everybody's working at home. We haven't heard back from Valve. Usually it takes 24 to 48 hours. We made the request last week. We haven't heard back. Uh, so that also loops into, um, QI is attempting to sidestep Valve's cut, and therefore Valve is saying, fuck you. That is not what is happening. Um, I don't even know of a way to sidestep Valve. So it's essentially just we haven't heard back. That's it. We
Gotcha.
are waiting as patiently as we can, um, but they have not responded. And they rarely do. You don't really get a response saying, sorry, it's going to take a little longer. You just get your keys when you get your keys. Sometimes that happens in an hour, sometimes it happens in a week.
So how many when you guys requested keys? Since we're on that subject, we're skipping down a little bit on my list here. uh, how many keys did you guys request, and how many keys did you guys actually get before the launch? And when did you guys exactly get the keys before the launch?
Well, that's a question that I don't know the answer to. I do not have access to our financials and things like that. Um, but I know that we have had keys for a while. Obviously, I've had the game since I work on the game. I've had the game for 2.5 years. I actually have two different versions of the game.
For those in chat who are saying stuff about the COVID-19, if you guys didn't know, Steam's headquarter office is in Belleville, Washington. I actually live in Washington, and right now, if you don't know where Belleville is, it's right next to Seattle. It's basically Seattle. It's a shit show here, you guys. We're all locked down. We're still in a phase 2 shutdown. Um, Everybody's working from home. I got laid off from my job actually because of the shutdown. So it's not a joke. Like the shutdown is a serious thing here. They're making everybody work from home. Is no joke. Like, oh, we're having everything. Come back up. God, we just like minimize everything here.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
think it's important to note that like some backers were able to get keys. Those keys are now gone. So those are the keys that we had. And I've been informed that all of those keys have been claimed, and those people are in game now. We don't have any keys at the moment to give out, and we are waiting on Valve.
So to be more specific here to you guys, which I don't know how I can be, but it's not the fact that they didn't order the keys. It's the fact that Steam they ordered the keys and said, "Hey, we need this many keys." Steam said, "Here's your 1,000-ish backer keys for the what is it the like beta workaround, whatever they call it." Uh, and then we're like, "Did they just didn't give you more keys?" Or because I heard there's only like 1,000 people in the game right now or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how many people got keys. The the amount of people that I have seen in game playing the game outside of our partners is like 10. I know there has been more than 10 keys claimed at this point, but since I haven't seen them all in game, I don't know how many there are.
Are you guys on a side question here? Are you guys like? Do you know if you guys as a dev team or Nick or anyone higher up is raising hell with Steam, saying, "Hey, this is kind of bullshit. What are you guys doing? You guys are making us look bad. Like, what's going on there?"
Yeah, yeah. So I think Kyle went to bed around 1 a.m. my time last night. He's been up since the morning of launch. Um, they've been working on the website and then going back to work on the game. And they've been blowing up Valve's, not their phone line because we don't have their phone line, but our method of communication. We've been tempted to order a bunch of pizzas and send them to the headquarters with a
Just
note like, give
give
us
us
our
our
damn
keys.
keys.
So it's not the
Because
fact that like you guys haven't ordered them. It's the fact that the Steam. That a lot of people are saying that like the whole 30% thing is like something that a rumor, a conspiracy theory is that um you guys don't want to pay. And I understand you're not in charge of the financial and you don't know much about the financial, but that the 30% you guys haven't paid, you guys didn't pay, and you guys don't have the money to pay that.
so 30% is when you do distro on Steam, you're working on Valve's platform, you pay them 30% of sales. So we don't have to pay them upfront 30% for every key.
So you said you don't have to pay them 30% up front?
No.
Okay. So the 30% thing is a myth. It's not. It's not like $420,000 is. It's just not
I mean,
there.
it's true, but it's like a royalty thing, like with Unreal Engine 4. It's free to use. Anyone can go grab it, anyone can download it, anyone can publish a game using Unreal Engine 4. But if you make over a certain amount of money, then you have to pay them a certain cut of your profit. Same thing with Steam. You're hosting on Steam, therefore you pay them 30% of sales.
Gotcha.
So it's not like we're not buying keys from Steam and then reselling them to people. That's not how it works.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, I think we. I'm just reading chat here. I'm kind of like I'm zoning in and out here, reading chat and listening. Um, I had to mute someone.
All good.
Guys, if you guys start calling, saying names and stuff, like calling this developer's names, and I'm just gonna mute you for the rest of the stream. Let's keep it civil. Like, you guys need to understand that COVID is a real thing. Like, things do happen. Like, it's life. If you're saying that life is just perfect and it's just polished, you live a very, very fantasized life. And I wish I can live in your shoes because that's not how it goes. Like, things do happen, and we have to understand that it happens. Like, that's just it. Like, and we need to be respectful, and we need to be patient with them, and don't just look at everything. Don't go on the hype train of, oh, they're lying, it's bullshit, it's a scam. Don't get on that bandwagon. Think for yourself. Stop listening to other people who don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, so I kind of answered the question about, did you guys receive all the keys by August 17th, because you said you didn't really know that information.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we didn't receive all of the keys by August 17th.
Yeah,
but...
obviously. If that was the case, we would be in.
Yes.
And I'm guessing Steam didn't really refuse to give you guys the keys. They just didn't give you guys the keys.
Yeah, they'll, like, the way it works is Valve has, the power in the situation. They don't often give you an email or give you a ring and say, hey, we're having some delays here. It'll be a little extra time. They'll just give them to you when they give them to you.
So, and now the first like 24 hours, and I see a lot of good comments in the chat, and it does make sense. Like, how come this wasn't brought forward at first? Why was it like oh, we're having website issues, it's down, but we didn't know for almost a day and a half that there was no keys? Like, how come it took so long for us to get that information?
It's a good question. I don't think I really have an answer for that one. at least that I know of.
Was it just like we fucked up, we don't want to admit to it type of deal? Like, I mean, I think somebody like Nick should have came out and said, "Hey, we fucked up. We thought we were gonna have all the keys, but we didn't. That's our bad, you guys. But we're working to fix it."
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so. I think what we should have done is postpone the launch and been like, hey, we don't have keys. Valve has not gotten back to us. We'll let you know when they get back, right?
Yeah,
That's not what we did. What we did is just kind of wait, hoping that, today's the day Valve's going to be like, hey, keys, cool. And then when that didn't happen on launch, I feel like um, we were pretty upfront about that. Um, but then again, like I said, I was giving my best information yesterday, and I know that Meta has said that as well.
yeah. I know you
Um,
were hammering out the Discord yesterday, man. I even told my
oh
chat
yeah,
yesterday to go like give you like a big ass thank you because like dude, you were out of everybody. You were just hammering out. I mean, shit. Look at you. You came here. You're going to other ones. Like, I gotta say, dude, you out of everyone has given us more hope for the game and given us more information. And that is a big thing. Is like people, and I've said it again, and I hope the people in chat understand. It's not about not getting the game and not getting the key. A large portion of it is transparency and communication on a level of like from the head developers and from like an actual announcement type style, like I was saying earlier, like a Twitter or in the announcements. Um, so we do appreciate the hell, even if, damn, even if some people in the chat don't appreciate, a large portion of my viewers do appreciate what you've been doing.
yeah. I mean, it's important to me because, I mean, it's important to all of us, but it's particularly important to me because Dead Matter is a game that I was asked to work on by a friend. I've known Shirk since I was 15, I think. Um, and he was the one who brought me onto the game. And Dead Matter is also pretty much a dead ringer for a game that I wanted to build when I was really young. Um, so it's really been a dream for me to work on. Um, so that being said, being able to share it with obviously a large amount of people is very cool. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Um,
us are looking forward to actually getting in the game and help design and build it because a lot of people, and I tell this too, it's a closed alpha. Like it's not a polished version of the game. If you're expecting to get into a game that's not going to have bugs, this is the wrong game to get into right now. It's a game for those who has never had and wanted the opportunity to alpha test a game and kind of get their foot in the door, so they can say they've alpha tested a game. This is a game that you want to get into. So it's not a polished version, and we need to remember that. I want to move kind of forward onto another question. Going forward, how will you guys be prepared for things like updates and patches?
Going forward, I think we'd be pretty well prepared. Like the obstacle is not updates. The obstacle right now is keys. That's really the only thing. We do nightly builds right now. We'll probably move to weekly builds when we get all the keys rolled out to people. That way, there's some time. Otherwise, people all over the place will be like me when I had a mobile connection. Couldn't open the damn game for like 2 months. Too slow.
Yeah, I've got like almost gigabit internet speeds. Like
Oh, you're lucky.
I designed everything. Yeah, we just got fiber optics in the neighborhood, so I'm like, bam, I'm getting fiber optics. Kick Comcast to the curb. Um,
Yeah, I had it most 1 megabit for my phone when I first moved here. And because we do nightly builds, the size is pretty small. You're looking at like 100, 200 megs per update every night. So it's not a huge deal. Um, but when you're on a connection that's supposed to get, 1 megabit per second, and obviously it's not going to get that high. It just takes forever. I wasn't even able to open the game for like 2 months.
jeez. Well, let's go on with a few more questions here. I don't know how much time you have, but we'll try to get through as many questions as possible. A question that a lot of people wanted to know was, and we may have gone over this a little bit, but why was a website blamed for if the keys were not available?
I mean, that's it's a difficult question to answer because I think most of it was coming from me. And as far as I was concerned until this morning, um, obviously the site was quite fucked, and there was the belief that there were the keys necessary. Turns out there weren't the keys necessary. There were keys, but
So when did you
not all
find
of
out that there were no keys?
them. So this morning, around I slept in today because I got 3 hours of sleep yesterday. So I got out of bed around 11 a.m. And so I found out about 11:25. So I think about 5 minutes before I hopped into your stream.
So who knew that there was no keys? Like, who do you think would know that there was no keys and would relay that information to others? Like, is that only like a Nick thing, and maybe whoever runs like I don't know, marketing or something?
I mean, it would be whoever has contact with Valve. I'm not sure how many of us do, how many of us don't. I sure as shit don't. Could be one, could be five. I don't know.
The reason I want to make sure that this type of information gets out is because a lot of people are blaming all devs and all moderators for just everything, and that's not the case here. People need to realize that not all devs have all the information to get all the information. Like, you have your higher ups that have the information, they choose whether or not to give that information out. So the devs are just trying to get as much information out as they possibly can to players, thinking that, hey, this is what we were told, it is a website problem. We see that this is a problem, that the website's going down, but they may not necessarily know that there is no keys until they are told. So there's a lot of communication that has to be done inside of their own dev teams. So just remember that not all devs and moderators have all the information or get all the information.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, right? Like, I've seen a lot of people, um, they're looking for someone to blame. And if it's not all of us, it's one of us. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't like me and hate someone else on the dev team. That's not how it works. I
Yeah.
stand by the actions of everyone on our team, even if they weren't something that, was the best option. We could definitely have done better.
Yeah.
But, it's completely inappropriate to point out at one person and be like, oh, look at this chuckle fuck who screwed up everything. That's not okay.
I mean, I want to disagree with that, because we do have to hold those who are accountable for certain actions. Like, we I understand, like, we can't take police for example. And this is
Mhm.
going to be really kind of controversial topic, but we're holding all police accountable for one person's action, and we can't do that. We need to hold that one person accountable for, why not getting this information out to you guys, because that makes you guys look bad. Now, I'm not saying let's, lynch them and take our pitchforks and burn down their house. No, no, no. I'm saying we need to hold them accountable and saying, hey, we would like a formal apology by you for not getting this information out. And I think that's something that has been really like missed in this whole situation here on Discord and in chats. It's the fact that, don't get so pissed off that information wasn't received to the point where you're going to threaten to do harm. Like, don't do that. That's not cool to anybody. You wouldn't want a bunch of people doing that to you and threatening you and your family. Don't do it to somebody else. It's not fair at all. But also, just don't get, like, I understand you're angry, but don't get to the point of just cussing them out. Just say, hey, you should have done this. We're upset that you've done this. We want a formal apology by you. Now, that may come out a little bit like when I first said that, like, hey, hold those who messed up accountable. I mean that as like, hey, we want a formal apology. We want more information from you, not a fuck you, you pieces of shit, but this guy's cool.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm down with. I'm very interested in instead of us putting out updates on what's going on, where the update is just, we don't have any news yet. We don't have any news yet. I'm very interested personally in saying, like, hey, we fucked up here. This is where we fucked up. Here's what we're going to do to make that right in the future. Here's the plan forward. And we will do whatever we can in the meantime to get these keys out as soon as possible. But it's kind of like when I don't want to bring him up too much because he doesn't work here anymore and he deserves his privacy, and I don't want people going to go talk to him uh, when he probably doesn't want to be bothered. But when Shirk left, I think that was about 6 months ago, the community backlash was immense. You know, everybody was demanding to know, why did Shirk leave? You know, was it his decision? Was it our decision? Did he get fired? You know, these are private things.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really interested in, you know, holding some individual who may or may not have had really much of anything to actually do with this accountable when it is us. You know, we have all taken accountability. We are all involved in this fuck up. Whether or not I pulled the trigger on trying to get keys last week or not doesn't matter. You know, this is a QI problem. This is not a me problem.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of toxic people in chat.
I mean, it
Uh,
happens. People are entitled to be upset. You know, they were promised a closed alpha launch after a whole ass fucking countdown. And then, oh, guess what? We don't have it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
of course, people are going to be furious. I get it.
of course. Yeah, there is going to be a lot of upset people, and I'm not really. I don't really care. Like, if somebody wants to be upset, fine. You could be upset. Be upset. Just a lot of them, they're like going way too far.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. That's a problem.
So let's see. Let's go on to something a little bit less serious here. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. Do players have access to private servers immediately, or will they have to just rely on multiplayer?
You should be able to set up a private server as soon as you download the game. Um, pardon me. I haven't done it because I'm a dumbass. I don't know how to start servers, but I am told that with some instructions, even I could start my own server, which is very good news as far as I'm concerned.
um, are there currently now? I have heard a couple things, but is there actual like? I know you're going through. What is that? Nitrato or something like that?
Nitrato, yeah,
Yeah,
there are.
Nitrato. Are there servers up for Nitrato?
There's a couple servers up. Obviously, we aren't going to spin up, you know, however many servers we need to contain all of the backers when we don't have all of the backers in. So we're going to be doing that over the next couple of days as we receive keys from Valve, or rather in anticipation of. So that way we have them up when everybody's coming in. But at the moment, since nobody's in, other than the few people that did get in, we have enough servers for the people that are currently playing, and that's it. But they are up.
Gotcha.
I have a tendency to kind of segue and just talk about things and then tangentially connected things. If I wiggle off track, feel free to bring me back. I don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
I will literally talk about one thing and then everything under the sun that's connected to it for 12 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah, no worries. It's kind of gives me a time to kind of see what chat's doing, anyways. I keep seeing a lot of refund questions, so I guess we'll skip to that one. I think I have it written down a little bit better in here somewhere. Is it possible to get a refund? If so, how?
Yeah, so if you are within your refund window for the payment processor that you donated through, Indiegogo or Xola, you just contact their support line and they'll get you set up. Usually takes 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 business days, unfortunately. I definitely understand the frustration there, but yeah, it's fairly simple process. I'm told Indiegogo is a little more laggy than Xola in terms of getting back to you. But other than that, it should be pretty simple.
Um, what about for those? Now I don't know what the I don't know time limit is for Indiegogo. Um, I know for mine when I saw it because I was worried that because I bought 4 keys, so I bought the
Hmm.
double barrel pack, and then I bought 2 single packs to give out the keys. And I noticed like there was an error. I think I messaged you and a couple other people and emailed. The
Yeah.
one of the packs were missing. One of the single packs were missing. I was afraid that I wasn't going to get that, so I was going to refund it to buy it at a later date because
Hmm.
just thought it was an error. And it said that as soon as the Indiegogo site goes down, um, that you can't receive refund anymore. Do you know anything about that? And could elaborate on it at all?
I have seen that be brought up in the community 2 or 3 times. I'm not familiar with it. I've seen people say that they can't do it because they've sent us the money. They don't send you the money in a lump sum at the end of the campaign. That's not how it works. So I'm not sure if that's true. As far as I know, it's 120 days for Indiegogo in terms of refunds, and 10 days through Xolo.
Gotcha.
That's about the only thing I know.
So to just make it really clear to you guys, those who back the game via the Xola site, you have 10 days to ask for a refund. So if you're after that 10 days, it's like trying to take something back to Walmart after it's like 16 or 30 days or whatever the hell it is. Like you just can't do it. They're gonna say no. Um, Now for Indiegogo, you said it was 160, 190.
120, I believe.
120. It's about 120 days. Don't quote, but go look it up. It's about 120 days to get your money back from Indiegogo. So contact them with your receipt number and just say, "Hey, I would like a refund from this," and just start that process for those who actually want to refund the game.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've been in our Discord pretty much every day uh, since I started working here. And I tell people, if you're not comfortable backing, don't do it. So, if you want a refund, if you're not comfortable with your money being a part of um, the development, that's fine. But um, obviously, if you backed like 3 years ago, there's really not much anyone can do about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you backed along. I mean, if it's over at like 6 to 8 months ago, there's nothing you're really gonna do. You gotta, and I keep reiterating this so many times, keep bringing it up. You're backing the development of a game, okay? You're not pre-ordering a game. You're not purchasing like a full access to a game. They are offering you, they're saying, hey, we appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are helping us build the game. You guys are helping us keep those who are help building the game in business. We're going to give you closed alpha access as well as a key to the game when it comes out for early access. They're not required to give you a damn thing without saying, hey, we're going to give you this. Like, it is our job for those who are like, we see how good this game is going to be. It's going to be good. If you guys just give it time, I truly believe in this game. I'm going to follow this game. This is not going to stop me from giving out those keys and in the future getting more keys and doing giveaways for it. I believe in this game. As soon as I saw it and I started doing my research on it, this is an awesome game. Like, that's not saying that I'm just going to be a gung ho fanboy and not call them out on little issues that happens, because that's why we're doing this Q&A. But I'm also kind of a realist when it comes down to like shit happens type of deal. And we need to just be patient and ask the questions like we're asking now. But remember, this is literally, you are backing the game to help them build the game. That's what backing means, to help build them. I use the analogy, imagine you're walking down the road and you see a homeless person. You give them $10. Do you expect to get anything out of that homeless person? No. Don't quote me. I'm not calling QI homeless, but what I'm saying is, you're not expecting to do anything. You're doing that to help out, out of the goodness of your heart, to help out. That's what we're doing for QI. We're wanting to help out. So just remember that. All right. Hope that made sense to anyone. Why is okay? Here you go. Why is emailing keys a security concern?
Hey, that's a fun question. Um, so, as everybody probably knows, email is fairly secure. You email personal documents, you email non-disclosure agreements, you email, etc. What we say when we mean by not secure is that email, obviously, is one prone to phishing. We've already seen that happening. Two, you get maybe two-factor authentication, which is pretty great. But most people just use password authentication. And there's a lot of people on QI that use the wrong email. It's pretty astounding. Um, so when we say that email is insecure, we mean that the way we do it with our website distribution on QIS is you have your Discord account connected to your Indiegogo, connected to your QI profile, and then there's another one that I forget. But you end up with this 4-layer security that there's no way that's not you, right? Like, unless your identity has been completely fucking yoinked, that is you. And that's what we say, and that's what we mean when we say that email is just not as secure. Like, there's a lot of people that get phished.
Gotcha. Um,
Yeah, I just want to make sure that people understand that we're not saying that email isn't secure. We're saying the way that we're handling it is more secure.
what was the whole deal? Because I know I saw it a couple times. They said that it would cost a ton of money to go through email. What is that about?
As far as I know, using an email mailer bot, um, obviously it costs money per email. I'm not super familiar with the um, I'm blanking. Sorry. The details of that, since I've never looked into an emailer bot. But essentially, we either have to get one of those, or we have to take someone off the game for a day or so and have them do it. So it ends up being just kind of a, I don't want to say hassle, because obviously with our network engineers working through the night to fix the site, uh, hassle is not really a problem. But it's just easier for us to fix the site and distro that way rather than take a day off or so. It's the same thing with like we talked about using a Discord bot for distribution, um, which would give us 3 different accounts interlaced, which would still be secure. But since we're dealing with private customer information through that bot, it would be a number of days since we'd have to write one.
So basically, what I'm understanding is that the reason you're not going through email is the fact that it would take the bot costs money per email. I'm guessing. I don't know much about the bots and how. Like, I've never needed to mass email somebody before. Worked in a company that needed to mass email somebody before, so I'm not my area of expertise.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat said it would cost $549 for 40,000. I mean, I'd love to look into it. Like I said, we are exploring all avenues of distribution, but haven't looked into it myself.
Uh, is there? I guess on that subject, what are the ways you guys are looking at distributing the keys? Is there any like one you're like, hey, I mean, obviously, there's really no way to do it because I think we need to remember that we could go on this subject for distribution of keys, but again, they don't have the keys to be able to send because Steam has not given them the keys yet. They've asked for them. It's not a fact of they didn't pay for them. It's the fact that Steam has not released those keys yet. So I
Yeah,
guess
so
even
the important
distributing
thing
the
is,
keys,
oh, go ahead.
I would say even distribution of the keys is not really a subject matter because if you don't have keys to give, I'm pretty sure if you guys had keys to give, the website would still be up, and you guys, like most people, would have keys by now.
Yeah, so like we said, we're out of keys right now. We're waiting for Valve to send us more. But the website will handle the traffic. It was already set up to handle the traffic. The problem is, again, the DDoS attack that occurred. I don't anticipate that's going to happen again, though I do personally, and this is my personal opinion, not that of the company. I personally believe that it was an intentional malicious attack by a group of people who really just want to see Dead Matter fail, um, which kind of blows.
Uh, I see a lot of other questions in here. One of them struck out to me, and I watched a video of Metamorph talking, and we still have the video up. I guess
Mhm.
the devs asked them, from what I heard, the devs asked them to take it down and make it private. Um, I'm not sure why, but something I heard was there was some illegal porn being issued across Discord. Something, I mean, that
Yes.
really pisses me off. When I heard that, I don't get mad about a lot of things. I'm a pretty chill, calm guy, and that just made my blood boil. What are you guys as devs doing? Did you guys take their information, report them to Discord, and report them to authorities?
Yes. The messages that they posted, at least publicly, were taken down within seconds. They were banned within seconds. They were reported to the Discord health and safety. And as far as I'm aware, we took down what information we had from people that were direct messaged, and that has also been forwarded to the relevant authorities.
Awesome. That was like my big question, but I didn't want to lead like this whole thing off with that. I wanted to kind of like let's calm it down a little bit and then go into it. But yeah, no, that just was like disgusting. Those people should really be just absolutely
I
shitting
mean,
themselves. I hope they get
personally,
in trouble, honestly.
I kind of enjoyed the theory that was floating around that it was us sharing it. That was kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't hear that one. Wow. uh let's move on from that. That subject would just piss me off. I'll never get off of it. I don't get off of it now.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time. It's not something. It happens every couple of months. Someone wants to try and be edgy, and they think that's a great way to do it. But
Yeah. Well, it was edgy, all right. What are the security concerns from for sending keys over Discord, or like through for a Discord bot? Is there any concerns, like security concerns there?
um, I'm not familiar with potential security concerns. I personally, being a layman, would be a little bit weirded out by getting my key through a Discord bot, but I do believe that it would be fairly secure since it is linked directly to your QIS account, which is linked to your email and to your Discord.
Gotcha. Um, Man, I'm starting to get like drinking way too much coffee starts giving me phlegm.
Oh no, I
Uh,
feel that.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I said I feel that.
Oh yeah.
You get the phlegmy back of the throat and then kind of dry on the sides of the tongue.
Yeah.
Not being able to say anything right.
So something that I'm kind of curious too on this one is I wrote down if CA keys are unavailable, will EA keys be released? Now the reason I wrote that down was because like let me go to my Discord here real quick. I have this see where to Jesus, my Discord is just blowing up. This is crazy. It's like I'm still like in shock by this. Like I can't believe everything that's
Yeah,
happened in the last 3 days.
it's been a pretty lame time.
Where'd it go? Okay, right here. So it says there's types of keys from Steam, right?
Hmm.
Now we know that. Why is that so original? Jesus. There's standard keys, there's release override, and there's dev comp or dev comp keys. And we know what the dev comp keys are obviously for. Devs, override keys, I'm guessing those are for the backers, or not the backers, but like the partner program people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, Now, you guys weren't. I think a lot of people misunderstand. They thought maybe you guys were trying to get those release override keys because of the closed alpha, technically, and it's just like with this many people. And I keep telling people, usually a closed alpha doesn't include 30,000 plus people. It's a couple thousand people. I've been on many closed alphas before. You know, Escape from Tarkov, a couple of Ghost Recons. I've done their Wildlands and a couple of their other games I got to go on, and so this isn't a new thing for me. So I understand. Usually, it's not a large portion of people that get to play these things. So I think a lot of people misunderstand that this is not like a release override key they're getting. This is like a standard key they're getting, right?
Yep.
Just making sure that everyone is.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I mean, it's kind of a logical conclusion to jump to if we say that, like, hey, we only have this many keys. It's a small amount of keys. We requested more and we haven't heard back. The logical conclusion, since usually override keys are only given out in bouts of 1,000, that, like, hey, yeah, that makes sense. But no, they're standard keys.
Gotcha. And so there's a couple of them I kind of want to address. It kind of goes back to the refund. Do you know of any plan to refund keys that were like past the limit of like 120 days from Indiegogo or the 10 days from Exola at all? Do you know of any like, hey, we're going to extend this out for people who want them because of this?
I know we have an interest in ensuring that people can get. Oh, hold on. Get what they need.
Now, what about like those who got a couple of people here saying, can a refund on Indiegogo? The refund button is grayed out. For those who are saying that, what I would do is I would get in touch with Indiegogo, send them a support ticket and say, hey, this is what's going on. I want a refund. What can I do? And then they will go through the appropriate action of either giving you a refund or telling you that you have to go through the QI. But on that, do you know, say somebody backs like a couple days before the Indiegogo campaign shuts down, and now they're not able to get a refund. Do you know, is there any plans to try to get those refunds out to those people?
I mean, if I always tell people, if there is a concern, to contact a community rep and we'll see what we can do. For the
Is
most
it
part, like, there's not a whole lot that we can do.
is it better to contact them via email? Because I've tried to talk to Hank or whatever his name is. Yeah, Havoc. I've tried to talk to Havoc multiple times and I've never gotten a single answer from him.
Mm, I mean, usually you'll get one back. If you don't get one back, I'd recommend speaking to a different community rep.
Okay. Let's see. What are some? I think a lot of these are just like website questions. Do you know if when you guys do get the keys, will there be like queue times to reduce traffic on the game, or is it just going to be like first come first serve? You're gonna have to wait type deal.
It's not something I'm aware of the answer to.
Do you guys plan on trying to make like changes like to go to EA or like your own like launch server, or is it still going to just be Steam?
It should just be Steam. I don't think we have any plans to change that right now.
And a lot of these questions already been answered because like we already know the answers to these, so I can answer them later.
Yeah. Well, for now, I'm gonna have to run. I gotta go grab myself a snack. But it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. So I appreciate you coming on and giving us some answers. I really do.
Yeah,
And
thank you so
I
much.
hope that answered some questions in the Twitch. and those who are on Discord. One more. Do you know, like, if kind of a time frame of when Discord might be up?
I don't think we have a timeline for that right now. Unfortunately, it's just it's pretty much impossible to moderate.
Yeah. So probably after everything settles down.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate all the information. Hopefully, we can have you back on the stream at some point in the future. And maybe the next time we have you on the stream, you can make me a partner. Wink. And we can go in and play some games and check out the shooting range and all the new stuff going on. So I really do appreciate you coming in and talking to us. And just everyone in general, actually, just what you did yesterday and just everything that's been going on, jumping around. I do appreciate that. So.
Oh yeah, I look forward to seeing everybody in game.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to find you in game and then hold you up and rob your base or something.
Oh God,
Mess with you a little bit.
I have my eyes on a nice house in Canmore, so hopefully.
Oh, you shouldn't have told us. We're gonna find the nicest one now.
Yeah.
But,
All right, man. Well, thank you for having me.
yeah, thanks for coming on.
Hopefully we've gotten some things cleared up, and we'll keep you guys in the loop as we know more if there's any corrections that need to be made.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, anytime.